The Darfur Genocide began in 2003 and is still happening to this day. The genocide is being carried out by a group of government-armed and funded Arab militias known as the Janjaweed, which translates to devils on horseback.
The Janjaweed are systematically destroying Darfurians by burning villages, looting economic resources, polluting water sources, and murdering, raping, and torturing civilians. In addition, these militias are historic rivals to main rebel groups.
Sudan is the largest country in Africa. Darfur is the region in western Sudan that is roughly the size of Spain. The population is roughly 6 million people.
Following independence from Britain in 1956, Sudan became involved in two lengthy civil wars for most of the remainder of the 20th century. The conflicts were rooted in economic, social, and political dominancy.
First Civil War ended in 1972, but it started again in 1983. The Second War resulted in over 4 million deaths. When the civil war between the North and South reached its peak in the 1900s, the government ignored reports of rising violence in Darfur. The comprehensive peace agreement ended the North-South War in 2005, granted additional political power to the South Sudan. It failed to take into account the effect of the war on Darfur.
Early in 2008, the UN issued a hybrid United Nations African Union mission to maintain peace in Darfur. With a projected strength of 26,000 troops, was authorized to use force to protect civilians. Despite this mandate, only 9,000 were sent, and they lacked the necessary equipment to carry out their mission.
On March 4, 2009, the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant for Sudanese President Omar Bashir for crimes against humanity, and in July 2010, a warrant for arrest on charges of genocide. The government of Sudan, however, has yet to turn him over. Because of this, the country has major protests and increased violence.
The Darfur Genocide has caused the deaths of approximately 400 Darfurians and displaced more than 3 million people. While the conflict has faded from the spotlight, ongoing violence continues to display, injure, and kill people today. The security situation continues to deteriorate, with millions displaced, hundreds of thousands living as refugees, and millions in need of food and other vital aid.
The initial violence broke out in 2003 due to the discovery of gold. A rebellion led mainly by non-Arab Muslim sedentary tribes was arranged against the Arab government. Instead of directly attacking the rebel forces, the government launched a widespread campaign to get at the fish by draining the sea, and targeted non-Arab tribes in the region regardless of whether they were civilians or rebel forces. In 2004, President George Bush and the U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell declared what was happening in Darfur to be a genocide.
Ala ba wuto inde jebi na mayena gi kons kera ke to bunne kera na gi konga kina wudo na ma poro na ma jiberi ke de jiberi die ke aso sumo na ma jibezi ranga na wuyo na ma na kan dula gi kirina sene yena na ma sudu sinde fu.
So we will fight, even if only man can remain, he will fight. No problem. And we have our generation will come with the same system of our right. No problem.
Why are you fighting against this?
We're fighting for our freedoms. We want our freedoms. We want our motherlands. We want Sudan will becoming one national democracy for the people of the Sudan whole, to becoming united to work together.